Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to be showing you how you can install custom fonts onto your system so that you can use them in both Inkscape and in GIMP. And when I say custom fonts, I just mean fonts that didn't already come on your computer. We're going to get these from Google Fonts, and there are many places on the web where you can find free fonts that you can download and use in your projects. The most common one with perhaps the most fonts available is Google Fonts. And I've already pulled up the website, but I will just show you here. Let me switch over and bring that application to the front. Right here is the URL. It's fonts.google.com. And if you go there, you're gonna see this. It's basically a library of fonts that you can use in your projects. Now, one of the best ways to use this tool is just to type in the text that you're going to be using the font for in this box here on the left. And I'll just type in the word test. Actually, let's do testing, and we'll do it in all caps. And then you can just browse through here and find the fonts that you want to use. The one I'm going to be downloading is right here, this BBH Hegarty. So this font right here is the one I'm going to use. And all you have to do is when you find a font that you want, you just click on it. And sometimes you get a buggy little app. So let's go back and try that again. So I'll come down here and click it. And that time it worked. So if you have that same issue where you get an HTTP request problem, just go back and refresh the page and then click on it again. At any rate, when you get to the one you want, you can just click Get Font and it will put that in a cart. And then you can either go back to the previous page by clicking the back button. You still have that cart just like you're on a shopping site, but let's say we wanted this Rubik Gemstones one as well. You could click that one and then get that font and it'll put that in your basket. You can download up to 30 of these at once. I've had cases where I had more than that and it let me, and then I've had other cases where I had more than that and it didn't let me. And it specifically says that 30 is the most you can download at one time. So keep that in mind when you're picking them out. But once you get all the ones in your selection, you just click that icon, the selected font families icon, and then you click download all, and it'll let you save a file that's named after the ones inside of your file, and you just download that and save it to your computer wherever you want to put it. I'm going to put mine in the downloads folder, which is the default. And then once you save those, you can leave. You can just close out your browser because you have the downloaded fonts now on your system in your downloads folder. And then what you can do is just let me drag these over to my desktop. So I moved them out of my downloads folder. Now they're on my desktop. I have open a couple of, I have Inkscape open and I have GIMP open. I'm going to minimize both of those right now so that we can see my desktop, and I'll show you how to work with these. Basically what you want to do is you want to extract these from the download because it downloads them as a zip. So if you're on Windows, you just right click this, then come down here to extract all and click it, and then you'll get this box that asks you where you want to put them, and by default it goes to the same place where you already are. So if you just leave that selected, then click extract. If this is checked, it will show the files, the extracted files, when it's complete. I'm going to uncheck that. but you'll see that you won't see it, but it put it on my desktop. Let me see if I can find it here, and I'll move it over where you can see it. So now I have another folder with the exact same name, but it's not a zip file. It's actually a folder. And if you double click on it, you can see there's the two fonts that we just downloaded. Now I just want to verify that these are not already on my computer. So I'm going to go back to GIMP, and if I let's create a new file. It doesn't matter what size it is because we're not really going to use it. We're just going to get the text tool open so that we can browse the fonts that are already there. Now that first one was called BBH Hegarty, and if we scroll down here to the B's, see you get BAR, and then it goes directly to C. So there's no BBH in here. And the other one was called Rubik Gemstone. So let's go down to R. And we'll find R. Now we have Rubik Bold Italic, Rubik Regular, but we have no Rubik Gemstones. We have other ones that sound like they're similar or related, but we don't have Rubik Gemstones. Now, I'm not going to close this down because I want to highlight something after we get these fonts installed. So I'm going to leave that open, but let's just do the same thing for Inkscape and verify that they're not visible in there because they're not on the machine. So you won't see them in this list either, but I'm just clarifying the point. So we get down here to Barlow Condensed, and then it goes right to the C's. So the BBH one's not in there. And then if we scroll down here to the Rubik section, we have Rubik, but not Rubik Gemstones. So actually those might all be one font. So I'm going to select that as my font and then check so yeah, you see normal, italic, bold, and bold italic. Now I don't know if Rubik Gemstones is going to be a separate font or if it's going to be a variation of Rubik. So that's why I wanted to verify this, but it's not in there in any case. It's not in there. So I'm going to minimize this and minimize GIMP. I'm not going to close them because, like I said, we're going to come back to that in a minute. And then what I want to do to install these on my computer, all I have to do is put them in the right location. So let me open another File Explorer window, and then I'm going to go to C, and then go to Windows, go to the Windows folder, and then if you look, there's a fonts folder inside of there, and this has all of your fonts in it. So all you have to do is go into each one of these folders and see where this BBH Hegarty TTF file is. Now yours might not be showing the file extensions on your computer, so you might not be able to see this .ttf. If that is the case for you and you want to be able to see these file extensions, you can click this view and come down here to show, and then come over here to file name extensions, and if you click that, you'll be able to see these file extensions. Most computers, by default, I don't think Windows shows the file extensions, and that can be kind of confusing, especially if you're looking for something by its extension. So I always turn those on, and I hadn't thought about it in any of the previous videos until this one, but that's how you show the file extensions. And you know, there's other options you can set, but we won't get into all those. But anyway, once you get the file and get the TTF file that you want, you can just you can either just drag it over there and drop it like that, and it will just copy it over, or you can right click and drag it over and drop it, and then it will ask you if you want to move it or copy, or normally it does. Mine didn't that time, but either way, you can right click and drag it and drop it, or left click and drag it and drop it. And usually if you right click and drag and drop it, it asks you if you want to move it or copy it. You could move it, is what I was getting at there. So once you get it saved, you can just back up and delete this, because now you have a copy of it on your machine. Unless you want to keep this so you don't have to download it again in case you lose it. It's up to you. But once you get it installed into that folder, it should be visible on your computer. And I'm going to do the same thing with the Rubik gemstones. This time, instead of just left dragging, I'm going to right click and drag it over and drop it. And apparently it just copies it no matter what. But sometimes when you right click and drag and drop, it'll ask you, do you want to move this or do you want to copy it? Anyway, now that that's moved over, we can get rid of that folder. And in fact, I'm going to get rid of that whole directory, because we don't even need it. Now we have both of those fonts in our font folder on our machine, so we should be good to go, right? Wrong. Let me show you. When we open these and try to look for those fonts, we're not going to find them. And I'll explain to you why. But if we go in here and we just look for the BBH, you can see right here it's not there. It's still not there. And the reason for that is because your program, or my programs, were already open when I downloaded the font and put it on my machine. And that might happen to you if you're in the middle of working and you realize, I need a specific font that feels a certain way, and then you go look at one up and you download it and put it in your computer. You're going to have to shut down the software that you're using and then restart it in order for that font to be visible. The reason for that is because the font library, all of these fonts, it's not reading them in real time. It just loads them all up when you start the program. So when you start GIMP, it goes through your fonts and it sees which ones are there, and it makes a record of all of the ones that are in there. And then after it does it that first time, it doesn't look again until you reopen it. So if you add fonts while you got the programs open, they're not going to see it until you shut them down. And it's the same way for Inkscape. If I close GIMP right now and close Inkscape, we could look at Inkscapes and it's still not there either, but I'll save that. We don't really need to do that. So I'm going to close that without saving and get rid of this. And then I'm going to reopen both of those programs in my computer, and we'll just do them one at a time. The first one here, so now we've got Inkscape open, and you can see it's defaulted to sans serif, but watch what happens when I scroll down to see, now we have BBH Hegarty. We have that font, and we can even use it. So there's that one. Let's go see if we can find the other one. Make sure it's installed. That one was called Rubik Gemstone. Rubik Gemstones. And it looks like it's there too. So Inkscape can find them, so that's good. And we'll close that one without saving, and let's see if GIMP can find it. And GIMP should work the same way. Let's create a default, create new, doesn't matter what size it is. Come over here. Actually, we didn't even need to do that. Let's just look through here and see if we have them in here just to verify. And there it is, BBH Hegarty. and it looks the same. You get the idea. So we could go and do all that testing just to verify it, but there's just one more to do, and that's the Rubik gemstones on this, so we might as well go ahead and do it. Let's scroll down here and verify that it's installed. Should have just typed it. I know the name. Okay, there is... Oh, I should have done this one in Inkscape to see if it categorized it as its own font. Oh, I did not have the text tool. Yep, it looks like it's working. So that's basically how you do it. It's not real complicated. All you have to do is know where to put the files and know what files that you need to put in there. But you can get some pretty interesting fonts. Like this is a font that is very unique, and the fact that you could use it in your projects is, you know, it's obviously read the licensing on any font that you download and use. Some of them you can use, you know, however you want, but some of them have certain requirements. They don't stop you from using them, but there are requirements if you're going to use them. So just keep that in mind, and whenever you download one, take a look at the license file. They always come with a license file, and see what it says you can do. I'm going to close this down as well, because we've basically done what this video was made to do, and that was show you how to get the fonts on your computer so that you can use them in Inkscape and GIMP. So I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.